Yes, it's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the jails. I'm going to talk today about Boris Becker, who's been released from prison. And tonight, Boris Becker is giving an interview on German TV. And it's been recorded, but it's going broadcast tonight on German TV. And for that, he's been reputedly paid £435,000 to talk about the terrible, horrible time he had in British prisons. British prisons with which I am very familiar. I've given numerous in-depth interviews about British prisons. Spent 10 years behind bars as a jailer. And Boris Becker is talking about meeting murderers, rapists, serial killers while he was at Wandsworth prison, and how terrifying it was. He spent a total of 8 months in there. He's getting paid £435,000 for talking about it. I must have done, on here alone, I've done, 288 interviews on here. Well, I'm interviewing myself, talking about my experiences in prison. I haven't been paid £435,000. I haven't been paid £430. I haven't been paid £4. Well, I have probably about that, yeah. Somebody made a very kind contribution to my Buy John a Coffee. Yeah, that was Paula. Thank you very much, Paula. But it's ridiculous. You see, they bend over for these celebrities, so-called celebrities. I mean, he won the 6 Opens, didn't he? 6 tennis championships. He was a brilliant player, Boris Becker. But then he went on to become a bankrupt, and he broke the terms of his bankruptcy agreement 4 times and managed to get himself incarcerated and exported from Britain. He's not allowed to come back to Britain for 10 years. Don't you think we'll miss him? Well, you'll be able to watch his interview because it's going to be broadcast on British television very soon. You can learn about the terrifying ordeal he had in Wandsworth. What I heard was that he was playing tennis in Wandsworth, teaching the staff, teaching the inmates, and messing around in the gymnasium with the physical training instructors, having a right old time of it, whilst at the same point building up a load of bullshit about how he was terrified of serial killers, multiple rapists, and murderers, all in Wandsworth, which they are. There's no doubt about that. But they're just generally under control, you know. Jailers in there walk round, they don't exactly let them run loose. There's a kind of certain degree of regulations in HMP Wandsworth. But I've noticed this about celebrities when they get out of prison, how they talk about all this. I once approached Jeffrey Archer when he came out of prison because he'd had some complaints about the prison, and I was working at the time with Mark Leach, who wrote the Prison's Handbook, and I contacted Jeffrey Archer with a view to him making some kind of like an editorial comment, you know, a prologue to the next edition of Mark's book. But he said he was extremely busy. Well, he would be, wouldn't he? Coming out of prison. I mean, what was he in prison for? Perjury. I think it was perjury or misleading or obstructing the course of justice, something like that, in which he'd been convicted. I think it was at the Old Bailey, wasn't it? Another so-called celebrity that came out of prison to great success awaiting for him there. That was John Stonehouse. Yeah, John Stonehouse had been a cabinet minister. He was, in actual fact, the last Postmaster General was John Stonehouse. Look him up. I mean, there's a TV programme coming about John Stonehouse. Let me tell you something about John Stonehouse. Yeah. John Stonehouse set up a bank. People put money into the bank. John Stonehouse stole all the money. Then he pretended that he died in a swimming accident off the beach in Miami, Florida. And he hadn't. He just pretended left his clothes on the beach. And then he did a disappearing act and went to live in Australia with all his millions of pounds that he'd stolen from the bank that he'd set up. And he was arrested by the Australian police, who were at the time looking for Lord Lucan. But they found a mysterious Englishman who wasn't Lord Lucan but was equally wanted by the police. That was John Stonehouse. Told you about my experience of dealing with John Stonehouse at the Scrubs. He mistakenly believed that I was Jeeves the butler. I wasn't Jeeves the butler, I was John the jailer. So that's what I told John Stonehouse. But when he got out, Old Boys Network, yeah, come on John, sit down here, write us a couple of books. That's not all about writing books. It's not really writing books. He probably couldn't write for toffee. Most likely didn't. Yeah. But he still gave him a load of money in advance. Tens and tens of thousands of pounds in advance to write these books. Well, put his name on the books. Seriously. John Stonehouse, when he came out. Now, all people who have written books, and by the way, that reminds me, I've written a book here. Yeah, there you go. It's available, folks, on Amazon. Yeah. I didn't get tens and tens of thousands of pounds advance, you know. No. I mean, I've written for HarperCollins, Bloomsbury, Scholastic in America. I'll tell you a little story about Scholastic in America. They published my book, Psychic Pets. It was an international bestseller when I published it with Bloomsbury. Yeah. And in America, it was bought by Scholastic, which is a big book club in America. And the first print run in America was 50,000 copies. And my publishers, Bloomsbury, were ecstatic with this. Oh, wonderful, John, we're sending you to America. You're going on Walt Disney. Oh, I did. I went over there and I was on Walt Disney. I was on at the MGM Theatre in Orlando, Florida. 2,500 people in the theatre. I was the star performer that week, publicising my book, Psychic Pets, on a programme called Pittsburgh, USA, for the Animal Channel Planet. The Animal Planet Channel, not the Animal Channel Planet. Anyway, the Animal Planet Channel, yeah. And 50,000 books out there. I got £600. That's what I got. That's all I got. They thought that they're saying to me, oh, well, you get stay in the best hotels. Yeah, stay in the best hotels and work. Yeah. I stayed at the Yacht Club at Orlando, which was something like $500 a night or more than that. I don't know, it was extremely expensive. But anyway, I didn't get tens of thousands. I certainly didn't get 435,000, that's for certain. Those were the days, eh? So anyway, that's what happens, you see. If you're one of the celebrities, you're a big name villain, then you get loads of money. If you're just in there earning your living, they piss in your soup. In fact, I wrote a song about it, Strange Ways Jail. They piss in the soup, they rip up the mail, spit in the porridge in Strange Ways Jail. Yeah, that was on my album Two Hat John with the Clap. Anyway, I'm going to sing you a song now, so I better... Don't want to terrorise people with the song dingers. Let's go for it, yeah. Yeah, song this. Manic, that, isn't it? Yeah, I must be going mad. Anyway, I'm going to sing you a Johnny Cash song because people quite liked that last one I did, believe it or not. This is San Quentin, yeah. San Quentin, you've been a living hell to me. You hosted me since 1963. I've seen 'em come and go, and I've seen 'em die, and long ago I stopped asking why. San Quentin, I hate every inch of you. You cut me and you scarred me through and through, and I'll walk out a wiser, weaker man. Mr. Congressman, you can understand. San Quentin, what good do you think you do? Do you think that I'll be different when you're through? You bent my heart and mind, you warped my soul, and your stone walls turned my blood a little cold. San Quentin, may you rot and burn in hell. May your walls fall, and may I live to tell. May all the world regret you ever stood, and may all the world say you did no good. San Quentin, you've been living hell to me. There you go. The Ballad of San Quentin, written by Johnny Cash. That's it. Tales for the Jails today. Don't forget to buy my book, folks. It's nearly Christmas.